Bayern versus City, or should I say City versus Bayern, happening today. I just wanted to talk a little bit. I'm on my way there currently, so I've got like half an hour until I get there. So I just thought I'd make a video and so I'd just go live and I'd start talking. So let's talk. I really wanted to do interviews today, actually, pre-game interviews and post-game interviews, but if you can't tell, the weather is no bueno. And I don't have weatherproof equipment, which is probably not great in the UK, where it's always raining. With all that said, though, ladies and gentlemen, the lineup hasn't come out. It will come out in like the next 10-15 minutes, so we're going to look forward to that. But obviously, with no Choupo-Moting, already Bayern are in some trouble. I won't say in a lot of trouble, but definitely in some trouble, because Choupo-Moting, call it what you want, he's been hugely important for us. Not just with the goal, but actually giving us a focal point, which Gnabry and Mane have sort of failed to do, really. Gnabry to a lesser extent, I would say. Mane, he offers you a focal point, but not so much a direct one, more so an indirect one. So now with Choupo-Moting out as well, it's gonna be fun. I don't know whether Haaland is fit. I think he should be fit. I know there was like, last week there was like discourse whether he'll be fit or not, but I think he should be. I think. Not sure. But yeah, we'll see. We'll kind of just see how it all pans out, really. Let me just cross here. So for me, the big thing is, I think quite clearly actually, the big thing is that with the injury that we have, which is only like one major injury, we need to be careful, because the worst thing you can do is what we sort of always do, which is kind of like go all out from the beginning and then kind of just get hit on the counter. Manchester City, they aren't necessarily a counter-attacking team. They are more so a, death by 1,000 cuts sort of team. But it's still worrying that, like, I have a bad feeling that everyone's talking about our counter right now, like Sané, Gnabry, Mane, etc., etc. And everyone mentions them, like, oh, those players can hit, City on the counter. But actually, my biggest worry, honestly speaking, is when I think about it, it's probably not my biggest worry, but more so my biggest question mark is Müller. I think he's perfect to play against a team like Manchester City that will have the ball. He's the perfect press initiator. Sané as well, I think like his biggest strength is also initiating the press. The issue is that he doesn't do it too often, but when he does it really well. So I think those two will be key. Will Coman play? I don't know. Will Gnabry play? I don't know. Will Mane play? I don't know. Who will play? I don't know. So it's a tricky situation, in all honesty, because typically you play based on form, but I don't know what Tuchel is going to try and get out of today. Whether he's going to try and be defensive and then take it home to the Allianz Arena and try and win there, or whether he's going to be trying to be aggressive and try and win or get a goal today. But I think without the away rule, that is a lot less. It's a lot less important. Like, you don't need an away goal necessarily, because it's a lot less important, without the away goal rule. So it's going to be quite interesting to see. I think the lineup will tell us a lot. I think if Coman plays, does João Cancelo play? That's another great question. I would play Pavard and Davies. Well, I kind of almost, I'm very much of the ilk where, like, you play players that have played for a club. Like, you play, for example, you play Sané and you play Cancelo because they used to play for City. So they'll be extra motivated. That's kind of like, I know it's a silly way to look at it, but it's kind of how I look at it. Where it's like, well, if you play it smart, aka you play, not the matchup, but you play the emotions, a lot of times that is a better route to go. Now, that doesn't mean it works all the time, but it is an option. And I think it's an option that we should seriously consider. But if I was Tuchel, right, like, taking that away, my lineup would be, I think the back four, right back I'd have Pavard, left back I'd have Davies, and the two centre backs Upamecano and. See, now the question is, do you try Stanisic? I don't know if I would. I'll be honest, I don't know if I would. So I would play just Davis, Upa, Delict, and Pavard. Then in front of them, I mean, Kimmich Goretzka basically picks itself. Unless you play Musiala there, but I think Musiala there would work really well. But I don't see Tuchel doing that just yet. I think if this was next season, I think he would. I think playing Musiala next to Kimmich would help us tremendously. Because you don't really need an enforcer. And, do you need an enforcer against City? No, I don't think you. I think you need someone that, if you get the ball, can take the ball forward, can push the ball forward. And I think Musiala is better at that than Goretzka. Obviously, Goretzka has other things that he's great at. But I don't know whether I'd play Musiala. I mean, I know he won't, but I think it should be something that he seriously considers. Let's see, what else? Now it gets tricky. Now it gets really tricky because you don't have a striker. So who do you play? I mean, do you try Tell as a striker? Ooh, that would be something. That would be something, playing Tell as a striker, but he's not going to do that. He's not going to. I mean, that would be if Tuchel. I mean, when is the lineup coming out? Let me have a look. It's 1:45. It's not yet, I think. Otherwise, I would have got a notification. So it's not out yet. But if Tuchel were to, that's a huge if. But if he were to play Tell and Tell scores the winning goal, now that would be the lineup is out. Perfect. Milan Gasic. Who's playing in attack, if you don't mind me asking? Because I can't see. I think I've never streamed on my phone before live, so I don't know whether if I click away whether it still continues streaming or whether it'll just stop the stream. So I'm like hesitant of doing that. But yeah, I think the defense and the midfield is solid. I just don't think the attack. I think the attack is the issue. Not issue, but the question mark. Gnabry as striker. Okay. That's not too crazy. I can see that. So going for the counter then. That's what I mean. Who else would you play? I mean, you're not going to play Tell there. You're not going to play Müller there. Sané and Coleman and Musiala or Müller. Ooh. That's interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting. Sané and Coleman. I agree with. I don't disagree with either of them because Sané has been playing well. Coleman has obviously been playing well. No Müller. That's a tricky one. Okay. No Musiala, but no Müller. Ooh. Let me think. Let me just sit on that for a little bit. Thank you, chat. By the way, thank you, chat, for letting me know. Let me think about that for a second. Musiala, but no Müller. Like, Müller for me was like the guarantee in the starting lineup against a City team. But the thing is, for me, Musiala would have had to start as well. Cancelo on the bench, Pavard as a right back. Okay. Backline as I predicted. Okay. That's understandable. Like, honestly, for me, Müller and Musiala both would have had to start. But again, how do you fit them in? Because you're not going to play Musiala on the wing. And you're not going to play Musiala next to Goretzka. Instead of Goretzka. So it's a tricky one. You know what? No Müller, he'll have thought of something. But for me, I would have had like one press initiated. Now you kind of now that's kind of reliant on Goretzka. And Sané. Do I like that? Clearly what Tuchel is thinking, that we're going to get, they're going to have 60% possession. And then, like, once we get the ball, we give it to Musiala, who dribbles like past one or two players. Essentially, frees them at midfield and then plays the decisive pass to Gnabry, Coman, or Sané, who are up top and who are obviously quick. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I'm not against it. I'm not really. That's the issue of having a deep squad. That's what I'm going to say. That's the issue of having a deep squad. That's the funny part, right? In defense, we all sort of knew how we were going to line up. In midfield, we all sort of know how we were going to line up. In attack, it's always a question mark. Yeah, we're going for the transition with Musiala 100%. Yeah, I definitely think that's the case as well. Like, clearly we're going for the counter, which is quite interesting because I would have figured that, like, you pressed Manchester City high up top. But then again, you can bring on Müller in the second half when they're tired and then let him just run crazy and press them to death, when they're tired, which might be more effective. I guess we'll see how it all pans out. I'm just excited. Honestly, if Goretzka is set up to defend and bully, then we might play well. If a lot of ifs, but I do agree. Another question is, which way do I go? Do I go left or do I stay straight? Let's go here. You know who's going to be pissed about this? Cancelo. I can already tell. Like, you know, the second I saw Cancelo on the bench, I'm like, yeah, you know he's going to be pissed. But honestly, I don't care. I don't care. I would play him on the home game, but I definitely wouldn't have played him today. That's sort of like the way I see it. Like, I'd play him in the home game because, you know, you're at home. When I put the pressure on, you've got the fans behind you, etc., etc. But I wouldn't play him in this away game just because of his defensive frailties. And I think you need a striker up front to really complement him. And with us not having Choupo-Moting, I don't think his skills are really being complemented without, you know, him being up there like a hold-up player. So Gnabry it is. Gnabry it is. Interesting. Anyway, what's everyone's thoughts? Like, what's everyone here thinking? Like, do you like the lineup? Do you not like the lineup? Is it a good lineup? Would you have changed it? Let me know what your thoughts are. I kind of shared my thoughts. Let me just see what you all are thinking. Because for me, like, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it really would have mattered who plays. Because either way, I'm confident, not necessarily in today, but like over the 2 legs. I kind of have to go incognito today because I couldn't get you know, a Bayern section ticket. So that's why I'm like wearing neutral clothing, just so I can actually get into it. Because I've had it before where they blocked me from going in because I was wearing Bayern colours in the home, and I was like, but come on, man, I got my ticket. And they're like, nope, sorry, only home fans allowed. No Bayern fans in this section. Please go to the Bayern away end. You need to get a different ticket. And I was like, damn it. So I've learned my lesson. I've learned my lesson. But yeah, I just don't like the weather. Because the issue is, it's not fully raining, it's like just dripping. But, you know, when you're running on the counter, I don't like it to be like in this condition. Like, either be fully raining or don't be raining at all. Because my fear is like, okay, we're gonna get a counter. You've got Gnabry, Sané, Musiala, Coman all sprinting, and then what's going on here? Oh, like you've got all of them sprinting. Oh yeah, my phone is acting up right now because of the drops, the raindrops. But yeah, like you've got all of them sprinting and then they slip. That's like my big worry that like that's gonna happen. Like, oh yeah, you know, they're all looking to counter and then they slip, and that happens all the time. And it's easy to manage when it's like fully raining or not raining at all. With it like just barely raining, it's like you know. But let's see what some of you lot said. If I could actually press any button right now, because as I said, my phone is just wet. For City, Silva plays instead of Mahrez. City plays super high line. Transition makes sense. Southampton had some success at the weekend, but weren't clinical. Jeez. I'll love a clean sheet, so I would be satisfied with a 1-0 win. I mean, that's easier said than done, but yeah, I'd like that as well. Just again, I'm a fan of clean sheets, which we haven't had enough this season. We did have one last time, so we did have one on the weekend. So is that a sign for things to come? I don't know. I hope so. I do sure hope so. But we'll see how it all pans out. Let me just show you the river a little bit as well. 1 second. Coleman is a pro at slipping. Oh, absolutely. My man is the slip champion. Nice little neat river right next to factories. Look at that beauty. Woo-woo. But yeah, I just hope it's a good game. Like, I don't hope it's my worry, not my worry, but my fear with chatting. Fear is a strong word. My hesitation, let's use that word. Well, I like that word, hesitation. My hesitation with Champions League games is always this. I just want it. I don't want. How do I phrase this? I want the better team to win. I want the better team to win. Like, I don't want it to be a stupid thing where, like, oh, you know, we could have won if there wasn't like a crazy deflection own goal. Or like, you know, even if we lose, I'm like, okay, we lost, but we at least put up a fight, but they were just a better team. You know, that kind of thing. I don't want it to be a scenario where like you're losing. And that's the beauty of the Champions League, I guess. Like, it's 2 legs. But I don't want it to be a scenario where you're losing and you're just like, okay, but we were the better team. And that's sort of like what happened to us in the DFB Pokal, where we were the better team, but we couldn't score. And that's like the nastiness of like a one cup, you know, leg, a one-legged cup. You don't obviously have that with the Champions League, but it can happen where you're just really unlucky and like you concede like 2 goals in 2 minutes, even though you played better. Or should I say 3 goals in 10 minutes? Cough, cough, Barcelona. Cough, cough, 2015. Just saying. And then the whole tie is over just because of 10 minutes that you fell asleep at the wheel. That's sort of what I don't want to happen. I want it to be like a contest where the better team wins. And the better team is obviously us, so you know, you kind of know how I'm rolling. With that said, we have 7 clean sheets in the Champions League so far, but we've not really played against like the toughest of teams. Like, people will say PSG, but PSG aren't that tough. So like, we haven't really played against the best of the best, so do take that into consideration. Like, you can't compare Barcelona and PSG to City. It's a different caliber. City's weak link is Edison. There is no real weak link to City. Like, that's the thing with like big teams. Yes, they may have players that aren't like as great as each other, but that's sort of what a manager is supposed to be there for, like to just gel the band together and make sure that even, you know, the weak links, so to speak, have people that like help them out and that they can also help out the better players, so to speak. That's kind of like the beauty of football, of team sports, that it doesn't matter if there's a weak link or a strong link. It just matters how you gel as a team. With all that said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just about to head, well, I'm just about like 5 minutes away from the City Stadium. So I'll see all of you after the game, maybe during a half-time. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts after the game, of course. We will be doing a discussion as well. Oh, look at these nice little birds. Hello. But yeah, after the game, we will be doing a discussion. I might host it from my phone. I might just wait till I'm back home. It's not a long, as you could tell, it's not a long journey for me. So stay tuned for that. And I'll see all of you in the next one, everyone. Until then, have a nice day. Peace out and bye.